Welcome back to my series of videos on the Sonic Pi tutorial. In this section, section 3.5, partial samples. Here we go. Partial samples. This section will conclude our exploration of Sonic Pi's sample player. Let's do a quick recap. So far we've looked at how we can trigger samples, so like sample, loop, amen, and then run, Command R. My headphones are up a little louder than I thought they were. I'm gonna back that off. Okay, sorry about that. We can change the rate, go to like rate 0.5. Next we looked at how we could fade a sample in. Let's do it at half speed. Okay, so it's the same rate but attack 1. We also looked at how we could use the start of a sample percussively by giving sustain an explicit value and setting both the attack and releases to be short values. So we've got this time loop amen, rate 2, attack 0.01, sustain 0, release, and I forgot the colon after sustain, and run. However, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't always have to start at the beginning of the sample? I wasn't thinking that, but now that you mention it, sure. Wouldn't it also be nice if we didn't always have to finish at the end of the sample? That'd be nice too. Choose a starting point. It is possible to choose an arbitrary starting point in the sample as a value between 0 and 1, where 0 is the start of the sample, 1 is the end, and 0.5 is halfway through the sample. Let's try playing only the last half of the amen break. So we got sample, loop, amen, start 0.5. Let's run that. How about the last quarter of the sample, 0.75? I kind of like that a little bit. Cool. Choose a finish point. Similarly, it's possible to choose an arbitrary finish point in the sample as a value between 0 and 1. Let's finish the amen break halfway through. Finish, colon 0.5. Okay. Of course, we can, specifying start and finish. Of course, we can combine those two to play arbitrary segments of the audio file. How about only a small section in the middle? So here we've got start, colon 0.4, and finish, colon 0.6. That's funny. What happens if we choose a start position after the finish position? Well, what does happen? Cool, it plays it backwards. Combining with rate. We can combine this new ability to play arbitrary segments of audio with our friend rate. For example, we can play a very small section of the middle of the amen break very slowly. Alright, so we've got start at 0.5, finish 0.7, rate 0.2. Let's try that. Okay, fair enough. Combining with envelopes. Finally, we can combine all of this with our ADSR envelopes to produce interesting results. So here we have sample, loop, amen, start 0.5, finish 0.8, rate. Wait, how can we do rate minus 0.2 if we're going from 0.5 to 0.8? We'll just try it. Attack 0.3, release 1. Rather than think about how this is going to sound, I'm just going to listen to it. Weird. Now go and have a play mashing up samples with all this fun stuff. Alright, let's sample Sure, ambient. What does that one sound like? Let's make that percussive. Attack 0.1 and then end 0.3. How's that going to sound? The end doesn't seem to be... Oh, finish. End doesn't do anything because it's not a recognized op. Attack 0.1. Let's try release 0.1. Oops, need a comma there. Let's take away the finish. I'm mostly... Try sustain 0 there. And what if I do this a few times? I feel like that could be the base of something. But I'm out of ideas now, and I want to be able to use loops and more sophisticated sounds with synths, and those come later in the tutorial. So, speaking of continuing the tutorial, I'm going to very briefly touch on 3.6. It says, external samples. Whilst the built-in samples can get you up and started quickly, you might wish to experiment with other recorded sounds in your music. SonicPi totally supports this. First, though, let's have a quick discussion on the portability of your piece. Basically, what this section is going to say is that if you add your own samples, then it's no longer as portable. If you use only the built-in SonicPi samples, then you could send someone your code, like this code, and they'll hear exactly the same things. But if you have your own samples, then you have to share those files as well, which is extra work, and some people may not end up hearing your music because of that. So for that reason, I'm going to skip over this in my run-through of the tutorial, and the next one we'll do is for randomization. Thank you for watching.